Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Don't forget to fill out your morning survey for today. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, and we're gonna go over the basic shapes of the skull step by step. Before we begin, I want to use this drawing that I did to show you a few tips and tricks before I start drawing with you. I'm gonna be using red to draw. You don't need to draw yet. So to show you a couple things, people think eye sockets are ovals. That's wrong. It's better to think of the eye sockets as rectangles. They're closer to rectangles than they are ovals. They're also much larger than people usually would draw because your eye sockets are larger than your eyeballs. Keep that in mind. The nose, this is simple. It's like an upside down heart. Keep that in mind when you're drawing the nose. For the cheeks, the bottoms of the cheeks normally line up. So you can think of it as like a straight line if you're drawing the skull straight on. If you're drawing it from a 3/4 view, you can just think of drawing the curve through. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's it for the quick tips and tricks. Let's go ahead and start drawing our skull together. You're gonna need a piece of paper, you're gonna need a pencil, something to write with. If you can't find a pencil, it's okay if you have blank paper or lined paper, any kind of paper you can find. Don't forget to pause the video if you need to stop and draw if I'm going too fast for you. So for step one, we're gonna start by drawing the skull with an oval shape, and we're also gonna draw a rounded rectangle for the face and chin. That's gonna look like this. Go ahead and take 30 seconds to draw that. For step two, we're gonna draw a vertical line that goes across. It's gonna be on the lower half of the oval. And then we're gonna draw a line that represents the middle of the face that goes from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin. That step is gonna look like this. Go ahead and take 30 seconds to draw it right where I drew my lines. For step three, we're gonna add two shapes for the eyes. We're gonna add the hole for the nose, and we're gonna add a line for the jaw and the mouth. That's gonna look like this. Before you start drawing, I want you to remember a few things. Remember that your eye sockets are gonna be more rectangular than they are round. Your nose is gonna be like an upside down heart. And there's two things I want you to notice with this drawing. You'll notice that the eye on the right is a lot thinner. That's because it's farther back in space. You're also gonna notice that the mouth is a little curved because that line is following the curve of the skull. So do your best to copy this drawing exactly as I did. Go ahead and take 30 seconds to a minute to do that. Don't forget to pause the video. Now we're gonna move on to step four. We have the basic shapes and we have the map of the skull drawn out. Now I'm gonna switch to the color black. This is where you're gonna start to draw dark, and it's okay if you make mistakes. We're using the sketch that we just made to help us draw the skull. You can start now by drawing with dark lines. We're gonna outline the eyes and the nose. So go ahead and follow along. There's my eye socket. I'm gonna draw the nose first because that's in front. Maybe we can even add a little line here to go back into space. The inside of the skull. Go ahead and follow along with me. Take 30 seconds to do that. For step 5, we're gonna copy each line that I draw because each line is gonna represent a piece of detail. If I had a step for every line I draw, we would have 1,000,000 steps. So feel free to pause and copy each line as I draw them. We're gonna start by drawing the outside of the right eye, and we're gonna draw the line that goes all the way around the skull. When you draw the line around the whole skull, try drawing while you lift up your arm completely. This will make a more natural skull shape. So we're gonna start by drawing a line right here that goes in for the edge of the eye socket. Then we're gonna start with the forehead. Now I'm lifting up my arm and stopping right there. Lifting up my arm creates a natural skull shape. And then down here, I'm adding a little weird shape right there. I don't know how to describe that. And then I'm gonna add a squiggle line right there. Go ahead and pause the video and copy those lines. For the next step, we're gonna continue adding more details. We're gonna add the cheeks and some detailed lines on the left side of the skull. First, we're gonna make a backwards L shape on the left side. And that's gonna look like this. Go ahead and take 10 to 15 seconds to do that. We're gonna go to the right side of the skull and we're gonna draw the right cheekbone. Now we're gonna go to the left side and draw the left cheekbone. Now remember when I said that the cheekbones, they look like they can kind of connect here, but I'm not gonna connect them because for the next step, we're gonna draw the outline of the jaw. So we're gonna start right here and we're gonna drop down like that. And then where the teeth go, it's gonna be a little bit rounded. We're gonna draw the chin, and then that's gonna come back to the corner of the skull. We're gonna draw this line right here. Now that red line is gonna represent the middle of the top and bottom rows of teeth. I'm gonna start in the middle and I'm gonna draw one tooth at a time, starting from the middle, moving out. Okay? Now I'm going to go with the bottom teeth and do the same thing. The bottom teeth are going to be thinner than the top teeth. And then I'm going to add a line that comes from here in the jaw to the teeth. And there you have it. That is our finished skull with basic shapes. Might be a little bit inaccurate, but that's okay. Remember that you can go back in the video, you can pause at any time and copy exactly what I did. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to send me an email and let me know if you're struggling. And don't forget to fill out your morning survey, and don't forget to complete the classwork for today. Hope you all had a fun time. Have a great day.